Welcome to the Group Dentistry Now show, the voice of the DSO industry. Kim Larson and Bill Newman talk to industry leaders about their challenges, successes, and the future of group dentistry. Visit groupdentistrynow.com for more DSO analysis, news, and events. Looking for a job or have a job to fill? Visit joindso.com. We hope you enjoy today's show.
Welcome, everyone, to the Group Dentistry Now show. I'm Bill Newman, and as always, we appreciate you watching us or listening in. Without great audience like you, we couldn't have great guests like the next three guests we have on the show today. Really get interesting conversation here. We're going to talk to, and first off, thank you to Dental City and Jordan Lorenz for sponsoring this podcast. Jordan's been on the podcast before, so he's a familiar face. Actually, I think just about everybody on this show is a familiar face. If you've been to a DSO meeting or two in the past couple of years, you've probably seen everybody there. So Jordan Lorenz, Vice President of Sales and Marketing from Dental City. This is a new title since the last time you've been on, so congratulations. And
thanks, Bill.
We also have Taylor Dunn. She is the Director of Partnerships for UptimeHealth. Hey, Taylor, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And I had the opportunity to be on the UptimeHealth podcast a while back. So nice that you're actually able to be on ours. So that's wonderful. And you may know Russ Baker. He is the Senior Vice President of UptimeServices. So Russ, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. And thanks, Jordan, for including us.
This is going to be a great conversation. Why don't we start off with some brief intros and a little bit about, maybe your background and then also the company. So Jordan, we kick it off with you.
Sure. Thanks, Bill. So I'm new title, like you mentioned, Bill, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing here at Dental City. I've been with Dental City for almost 11 years now. Have really enjoyed it. It's fantastic being part of a privately held organization. Been in supply distribution for the last 30 years in dentistry, and just that great story of building from absolutely nothing, distributing from parents' apartment garage, all the way to what we do today, which is service more than 20,000 doctors across the country, with a great footprint in both private practice, which was where we built the business, and now really expanding into our special market space. So it's been fantastic, and have great partnerships that we've built over the years, whether that's from our manufacturer partnerships and now into technology and things with people like UptimeHealth. So looking forward to expanding with them and what that means for our business in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. And I had the opportunity to visit Green Bay not too long ago to see how you continue to improve the way you distribute products, work with your customers. And like you said, now you've got these great partnerships with people like UptimeHealth and UptimeServices. So next up, Taylor Dunn, and I've known Taylor for a while at UptimeHealth. A little bit about your background, Taylor, and can you talk a little bit about UptimeHealth? I think a lot of people have seen the name out there, but maybe not 100% clear on what it is you all do.
Well, first I have to say go Bears, because I'm in the Chicago suburbs. So have to tease Jordan a little bit there. But so like Bill said, I'm Taylor Dunn, Director of Partnerships for UptimeHealth. I've been with Uptime for almost 4 years now, and actually started off in the compliance side of urgent care. So we have urgent care clients as well. So I shifted over to this software side of the healthcare industry, and I've never looked back. I love it. I love the team that we've brought together through the acquisition that I know Russ is going to touch on a little bit too. But this company has been great to work with, and I love what we're doing for the dental industry and healthcare in general. So a little background on UptimeHealth. So we are a healthcare technology company that provides a software that can basically just roster all of your devices in your facility. And from there, you're able to manage your equipment. So things like preventative maintenance checks or opening up a work order and dispatching technicians directly through our tool. But we also have a compliance aspect as well. So that's really looking at our task management system. We have a log management, documentation hub, among other things. So we try to encompass all of these things so that we can have an all-encompassing solution that we can work with partners like Dental City to be able to offer to their customers. So excited to talk more about it.
Thank you, Taylor. And Russ Baker, Senior Vice President of Uptime Services. So I bet you a lot of people don't know right now who Uptime Services is, but they soon will. So Russ, a little bit about your background and talk about Uptime Services.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So 31 years in the industry now. So I'm the token older gentleman here on the podcast. 24 years with Henry Schein in various leadership roles, and then had an opportunity to kind of follow a passion and to join a startup with Dental Whale, with a close friend of mine, and so we, it's been quite a journey, right? As far as kind of just the overall industry, being a part of like the dental community for this period of time, it's truly amazing, and I feel like blessed that we've had this opportunity to be in the dental space for this amount of time. So I currently serve as the Senior Vice President of Uptime Services. So Uptime Services, it's a wholly owned subsidiary of UptimeHealth. And when I was with Dental Whale, Uptime Services acquired very specific assets of Dental Whale about 2.5 months ago. So while I was at Dental Whale for the last 6-7 months, I was served as the interim CEO while we were going through a transitionary period, and and we're very fortunate that Jash Patel and Bill Olson and the team at UptimeHealth acquired the specific assets of Dental Whale. So what did they buy? So they bought quite several things. Some of them they jettisoned, some of them they sold off, but they really wanted to incorporate the various companies that Dental Whale had that were important to their strategic vision. So, because if you talk to say 20 different people about Dental Whale, you'd probably get 20 different answers, and that would probably include some of the employees as well. And it's because it was a very broad company and that had quite a few different things, so everything from a DSO to a GPO to dental fix, a franchise service business, a marketing company, an education company. So depending on where you came in and then came into the ecosystem, you had a very different perspective of what it was. So with UptimeHealth really being asset management SaaS platform, Uptime Services was created to be they stood up Uptime Services during this acquisition to really be logistical support for UptimeHealth. So we do everything from dispatching technicians, allowing access to manufacturers, parts, providing maintenance support to our customers, ultimately creating a situation where our customers can maximize their efficiency with peak optimization by keeping their practices running as smoothly as possible. So Uptime Services is really the repair division for UptimeHealth. And UptimeHealth works with various distributors, whether it be like the Surge offering for repair. We work with companies like Dental City to be a great partner to Dental City to offer a service option to their customers, equipment options as well. And so that's really what Uptime Services is, and we're excited to be here.
Thanks, Russ. Yeah, that's it's a great explanation. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot going on at the other company, and it's nice that you've got Uptime Services. It seems like it's really focused now, and what a compliment to UptimeHealth. Taylor, got a question for you. Let's talk a little bit about UptimeHealth's technology and how it helps not just the patient experience, but really employee satisfaction. Maybe we can look at it at the practice level or even at the the DSO level.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that I like to think about this is actually as a patient going to a dental office. If, for example, I was just looking for a new dental office in my area. And to me, I have to take time off work because they didn't have availability over the weekend. So it's not only about, making sure I can get there and making sure I have the time off, but also that it's a great office. So when I walk in the door, it's a great experience. But for me, if I get a call that says, we have to cancel your appointment, I may not know the reason is because equipment has broke down. They have equipment failure. And so from a patient perspective, I'm upset because I've taken time out of my day to block off that in my schedule. And so what we're trying to do with our software is improve equipment downtime and make sure that equipment is up and running. So that's one way that we try to improve the patient experience. Another thing to think about is if you do cancel on that patient, they might be looking at your competitor down the road. They might realize that they have the ability to see them. So we try to keep your equipment up and running. And a lot of that is due to the preventative maintenance checks that we provide in our software as well. From an employee satisfaction standpoint, it's a little vague, but what we've just heard, this is really word of mouth from people that we work with. When they go into a dental office that they're working for and they notice that they are able to be innovative, they adopt different technologies to make them more efficient in the office, they have a better working experience and environment. And so really it's just to say that our technology is trying to help them automate their processes and advance the office so that they can provide better patient care.
Thanks, Taylor. Russ, regarding Uptime Services, let's talk a little bit about, this change that you recently had and how you're better able to support your customers and really the customers of Dental City.
Yeah. So a couple of things kind of come to mind when I think about that. The first is if you kind of zoom out and kind of take a macro view of, in-office repair in the United States, the numbers of technicians are actually going down, and that's an issue. And we're seeing it in our space, and obviously we're seeing it throughout all of industry when it comes to technical expertise and people kind of moving into this trade, if you will. So when I look at what UptimeHealth brings to the table, they're really focused on education. And we had an opportunity to work with a biomed college called the College of Biomedical and Equipment Technology in San Antonio, Texas, that graduates quite a few biomeds throughout the United States and puts them into mostly in healthcare setting, hospitals and whatnot. And so we actually helped them create a curriculum to now offer the very first accredited dental technician program, because we need to attract more people into the space so that they can take care of our customers at the end of the day. So we're really excited about that. So as we're thinking about, number one, just taking care of the customers and having the people so that when you're ready or you have an issue, that we're there to take care of you. I would say historically, the dental industry has been very much a break fix type of environment where preventative maintenance is not all that prevalent. And what we'd like to do is actually kind of flip that around, provide more training, provide more like SLAs with our customers, with mechanical room sterilization, things of that nature, so that we can come out and take care of the issues before they're an issue. It's almost like the reason why a dental practice has hygiene, right? So good hygiene can prevent, bigger problems down the road. We feel the same way about repair and taking care of our customers so that we don't have that panic environment where all of a sudden they're shut down, they can't see the patients, and, has a really negative effect on potential, the dentist, brand, the equipment, the, really just the overall experience. So anyway, we're looking to try and change that through some of the things that we're doing with partnering with the college, getting more people into the sphere, if you will, and ultimately helping our customers.
Let's talk a little bit about partnerships and Taylor, since that's what you do. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how UptimeHealth works with other companies. And so when I initially think of that, I kind of go to the equipment companies that you work with, which certainly you have partnerships with the equipment manufacturers, but you also have partnerships with organizations like Dental City. So maybe talk a little bit about that. And then I'd love to get feedback from Jordan from his perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So, talking about Dental City, The first thing I noticed when we started working with Jordan and his team is they really care about their customers. They looked at our solution, and we don't have, for the actual SaaS software, we don't have a real alignment other than this is a true value add solution for their customers. And so they've recognized that, and they're taking advantage of that through this partnership and saying, we want to be able to provide this to our customers so that they can use it and start being more efficient in their office. So right away, I knew this was a partnership that we had to proceed with because of the way that they treat their customers. And I'll let Jordan also talk to that as well. But another aspect is now with the Uptime Services and Dental Fix side of the business. So, we can encourage improved technician support across the country. And so Dental City is able to offer that through Uptime Services. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in there.
Yeah, for sure. So for us, we have been in a place where we've never been able to offer really services or equipment fixing. We've always put our time, energy, effort, investment into continuing to innovate around supply chain, being, the top distributor from a very high level performance of getting products on time, getting the right products in the shipment, really making sure that we're the best distributor we can be. And that's where we want to put our time and energy. And we've done that. We continue to innovate in supply chain management, whether that's the warehouse automation project that just really went live today, where we add robotics into our warehouse for the first time. And we've taken giant leaps there to make sure our products are getting to customers on time, or our partnership with our carriers that allow us to ship across the country in 2 days. A massive win for us as an organization that we can ship all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it's going to get to the office in 2 days. Again, all about for us supplies, or what we're doing from the procurement side of things, making sure that offices are able to order efficiently, that the expectations are met. They need the products, they need to get them on time. And that's where we put our focus, and that's where our focus belongs. And the only way we're able to do that is by having other innovative companies that are always reinventing themselves, that are bringing unique solutions to the table. And when you look at something like UptimeHealth and UptimeServices, that's exactly what we meet with them on that partnership. Is they're innovative, they're changing the game in dentistry. They align so well with the gaps that we're looking to cover from the fix side of things, which again, we haven't been able to offer in the past. And now what they do from an UptimeHealth side of the game. It's really helping us bring additional services to our practices, showing them the ways that they can increase profitability, be more efficient in the practice. And that's really what we look to do with our partnerships, is keep our focus on the things that are important to us as Dental City, which is the practices that we serve and the many different ways that we serve them. And a big part of that is bringing partners to the table that will help their office continue to improve and just get better. And that's what we get with Uptime, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I had one other thing that I think is relevant to this part of the conversation, and that is really the whole industry working together, whether it be the distributors like Dental City, ourselves at UptimeHealth, and also the OEMs, really the manufacturers of capital equipment, because more and more equipment today has IoT connectivity. More devices are smart. So, but the issue has been, let's say you have 20 different pieces of equipment. They all the manufacturers have created this smart technology, but that would require like 20 different logins to actually identify what's actually happening with that equipment. So what UptimeHealth did is they created a universal device hub that will connect all the IoT enabled equipment to actually communicate into one central area. And so now we can predict failure. We can actually identify based on error codes that are happening with the gear, to dispatch technicians right from the software, so that ultimately you keep the practice up and running. So everything from, and it solves a lot of issues, right? Number one, it keeps the practice up and running. It has an impact on access to care. It really solves quite a few problems that I think is very important when we think about technology and the amount of investment that's happening through the entire dental community. But now actually we're bringing something to the market that the customers can actually use, that dental practices can use.
And to add to that, the manufacturers are now having access to performative benchmarking through our platform, which is really aiding in product improvement and service delivery. So through expanded service coverage that we have through UptimeServices, it allows for those manufacturers to support their equipment really wherever it is across the country. So we're really excited about the Universal Device Hub and how our manufacturers have partnered with us. But also on the other side of that, our distributor partners, we love working with distributors. We are able to not only provide dental offices with predictive analytics, but also the distributors, because through this data, we're able to enhance that inventory management, which will help them anticipate their clients' needs, which is really, really important. So that's another reason that, Dental City is so great to work with, because they're recognizing that we can give this data to their customers, and they want their customers to have access to it so that they can make better purchasing decisions and just be more efficient across the board. Another aspect of our distributor partnerships is with UptimeServices. We can expand that reach for the distributors to have access to their customers. We know that there are gaps with technicians across the country, which we're trying to actually improve those gaps. And through UptimeServices, we're able to do that. I like to think of UptimeHealth and UptimeServices as a tool in your tool belt, as funny as it sounds, but really you're able to utilize our services to improve your customer's experience. And at the end of the day, it just looks like we're an extension of your business.
Taylor, would you mind talking a little bit more? It's the Universal Equipment Hub. Is that what it's called?
Universal Device Hub.
Universal Device Hub. So how does that work?
So we have actually identified about 10 of top manufacturers that are providing this, what we're calling smart technology. It's that IoT connectivity. And so they've started developing it and they're introducing it to the market. And what we've done is, instead of, like Russ had said, having a dashboard that shows this real-time data on their equipment in different dashboards that customers have to log into, we've built APIs to plug into this device data so that it flows directly into our platform. And then all of our customers that use this smart technology is able to see it in their platform. So it's one place that they have to log into. We also have a lot of alerts for any kind of error codes that can occur, and then they can be responsive to that. And then there's another evolution of this that I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about, but I'm going to. And we're really excited about it, is basically there's going to be an automation that will occur so that when an error code comes up for a device, a technician will be automatically dispatched through a work order. So that's the way we're seeing this to come together, where it's just going to be one solid loop so that the customer doesn't even have to think about it. It's already in motion. So
Universal Device Hub, yeah, and Russ did mention that with the fact that you've got people trying to, and this is an issue not just with equipment, but for I think all across the industry is you've got data and information everywhere, but it's everything's siloed. So really, you're starting to bring all that into one place. All right, Russ, as far as education, you touched on this earlier, but on this with the service techs. I know you've got some initiatives to educate dental service techs. Talk a little bit about that and what kind of challenge is that? I mean, what does the pool of service techs look like? I mean, is it an older crowd? I mean, are you looking to bring newer people in? What is that? I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And it's something that we're looking to address and tackle. Number one is we need to attract more people into the industry and also train them in order to. So that's why we really have helped the college create the very first accredited program. So that's a big deal in itself. There also is the opportunity through that program to cross-train biomed technicians. So if you think about where technicians kind of came from in the past, they either came through the military where they had biomed training, and then there was a specification for dental, but that no longer exists. So So now we can actually bring in biomedical technicians, and the same biomeds basically, they all compete for the same 5 hospital systems or so in any given market. So this allows them to kind of diversify, their offering, and we believe it's going to help the entire dental landscape when it comes to technical repair. And so that's why we help develop the curriculum to train people, whether they're just someone new kind of coming into the space, attracting it, or has an existing business but now wants to move into the dental area. So what's happening is you have like somewhat of a graying out, if you will. People kind of retiring, and we're not kind of backfilling the way that we have in the past, and so that's created some issues for our customers. So number one, we want to attract more people into it. We want to cross train existing businesses that can kind of come in and help to meet the demand for our entire industry.
Thanks, Russ. Let's talk a little bit about this. This is an overarching topic, but you see it in our everyday lives. You certainly see it in the dental industry, is this rapid advancement in technology. And, it's really hard to keep up with things. Everything's AI now. That's a whole other, that's part of the issue there. But it's hard enough, I think, for companies to keep up with this, let alone your customers, right? And the dental practices, the DSOs. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I don't know if you want to start off from the Uptime Services perspective, Russ. Like, how are you keeping up with all these technology advances? And then I'd love to hear how, Taylor and UptimeHealth is. And then it sounds like Dental City is with the robotics that you're using, which is pretty interesting. But I'd just love to get your feedback, because that is a big issue. It's like technology, everything's just moving faster and faster and faster. And it becomes a huge challenge for our customers to really know what to focus on.
Yeah, it's an excellent question, Bill. And it is something that we're giving a lot of thought. And one of the reasons that UptimeHealth acquired Dental Whale was for a very specific training company called Front Office Rocks. Now, Front Office Rocks has traditionally been it's a subscription-based model for office staff, for team members within the office on how to properly educate them so they can handle their functions. So what we're looking at is adding additional content when it comes to training for things that you're talking about right now. So we want to create a very robust educational component that ties directly into the SaaS platform to allow the customers to understand these very different technologies that are coming into the space. And to your point, they are coming fast. They're coming very fast. And when it comes to even like the technical training for the technician workforce, they're being forced to kind of learn kind of on the fly as well. So we're looking to create like a whole educational portal for our customers as well as our technicians to handle like the rapid development of technology in the entire dot space.
Taylor, what about you when it comes to kind of thinking through you handle the partnerships? How do you take into consideration the changes in technology?
So one of the things we hear the most is that there's software fatigue. We understand that across the industry. And so what we've been trying to do to keep up is to develop more integrations to our platform. As you're seeing already through the Universal Hub, what we're doing there to partner with manufacturers, it's the same concept with other vendors that we believe are ways that we can improve our platform and our offering for our customers. So not only are we looking at different integrations with these amazing companies that exist with other technologies that can complement our tool, but we're also listening to our customers' needs. So our platform is consistently evolving because we listen to their needs, and then we go to our development team and we express the need, and we basically build a business case around it, and then lo and behold, a few months later, it exists in our platform. So we really try to cater to our customers and at the same time try to evolve without reinventing the wheel. We like to really develop through our partners.
And Jordan, I know I talked a little bit about the robotics, or you talked about the robotics that you're using, but you also within Dental City, I mean, you have some new offerings, and I think we highlighted it on our website not too long ago. Sherpa. I mean, you've got a lot of things that you're continually doing to try and simplify things. I mean, because it is with all this technology, it can become more and more complicated. And I guess I always thought the idea of technology was to simplify things. So I know you're trying to do things like that at Dental City.
Yeah, I think that's the key for us is how does the technology interact with the people? Sometimes, you could install technology for the sake of installing technology and talking about it, right? But, the way we approach it internally with like the robotics is not only was it about finding the best company in the space that could help us do this, but also making sure that company understood that the people is really what drive this in the end. And we see that just through this installation is it's not about just adding robotics. It's about how do the robotics make the life easier of the person on the other end that's using it. So that's the key for us. And I think that's the same thing, for an office is you're absolutely right, Bill. This is about driving efficiency, making sure it's comfortable for the person on the other end of the technology that's being used. So, I think sometimes offices, companies, anyone can just put in technology for technology's sake. And that's really, not what it's about. It's about, fantastic onboarding, making sure the people in the offices know how to use the technology. It's about putting things in front of them that are useful. As we, as consumer buying habits change and have changed in time to more digital offerings, it's important that, as an industry, we also match that to a certain extent and give people that consumer type feel, whether it's through their procurement process or through the return process or the expectations on delivery. Those things are just so important. And I think that's, the beautiful thing about UptimeHealth, UptimeServices is it truly serves a purpose. And that purpose is to help the office improve their uptime and operate more efficiently. It's not about putting technology in for technology's sake. It's about a process and it's about, the improvement of the office. And that's what we look at, whether it's internally or what we're presenting to our customers.
Excellent. Yeah, great points, Jordan. So as we start to wrap things up here, I just want to get final thoughts from everyone and maybe even a peek in, especially from UptimeServices and UptimeHealth, maybe a peek into the future as, UptimeServices becomes more of a part of UptimeHealth, what that might look like. But we could, why don't we start with you, Russ?
Yeah, thanks. So and kind of like piggybacking a little bit on Jordan, I think at the end of the day for our customers, they have enough to deal with, dealing with like giving exceptional patient care, right? So when it comes to supply chain management with what Dental City is doing, they do an incredible job with it. We want the equipment and repair component of the business to be very similar, right? Where it's like, okay, it's giving me alerts. It's letting me know like when something is going wrong so that you don't have that downtime, right? And right now, just the industry doesn't operate like that. So I think where we're going kind of complements that as well, is to make some of these things just not even something you have to think about. And I think that's what the true benefit of technology delivers, is like an experience where it becomes less of an issue and you don't have that fire drill. So I think as more and more technology kind of comes in, and if I look at just what we're doing on the development side, kind of peeking under the curtain a little bit, is, we have quite a few developers who are really just head down working on the experience for the customer and also the technician experience to provide exceptional service. So it's really going to be technology that drives us forward, and education. So the more we can educate people on even just routine maintenance and compliance with your equipment and understanding where things are, how they're being cared for, et cetera, should give a much better lifespan for the equipment and a better overall experience. So that's where we're really kind of focusing right now, is developing the technology, developing the software to allow for all that to happen.
Thanks, Russ. Taylor, how about you? Any final thoughts? Anything you want to make sure that the audience knows about?
I just, to reiterate what Russ was saying, this integration, what we've done with the acquisition of Dental Whale, is allowing our customers to have access to a strengthened Uptime Health, a strengthened Uptime service. So now that, dental and healthcare industries can take advantage of not only our technology, but dedicated service, comprehensive education, and then we're ultimately fostering their trust through this innovation. So I'm really excited about what we've done over the last few months, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thanks, Taylor. Jordan, what's in store for Dental City in the future? More robotics? What else?
Yeah, I think, for us, it's an exciting time to be in dental. The last 5 years, I think maybe 5 to 7 years have really been an innovative time in dentistry. Like the acceleration of the amount of technology that is entering in offices has been really incredible to watch. And I think, for us, it's all about continuing to meet the customer where they need to be met. For us, that's on the supply chain side, or for bringing innovative services to the table from other partners, and just making sure that we're taking care of the office's needs the best we possibly can, understanding that the supply portion of their business, it might be 6 or 7% of what they actually do. That 6 or 7% should be as easy as possible. So for what we do, it's going to all be about making that efficient, making that easy, putting the tools in front of the office for what's right for them, whether that's, placing the order through text messaging, whether it's using a procurement solution, whether it's using a website or a phone call or even a fax machine, right? For us, it's all about making that supply purchasing process easy and then bringing those services to the table that really improve how the office operates. And that's our goal. And, what that means for the future, it could be a number of things. We're really an organization that's about innovation, about reinvention. And we want to continue to be on the cutting edge of that. And having partnerships like we do really puts us in a great position for that.
Well, that's great. Hey, Jordan, if people want to find out more about Dental City or want to reach out to you, would you mind providing your email address? And it's dentalcity.com, right? So that's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's right. Dentalcity.com, and absolutely my email address. I'll give it to you, Bill, for future sharing. But it's jlorenz@dentalcity.com. I would love to connect with anyone.
Okay, and we'll put that in the show notes. And Taylor, if people want to get in touch with you and find out more about Uptime Health, how do they do that?
My email is tdunn@uptimehealth.com. And then if you reach out through our website, uptimehealth.com, there's multiple ways you can find me. I'm everywhere.
Sounds good. You're on LinkedIn a lot too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Russ, how about you? Uptime Services, and then also how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, thank you. So you still go to Uptime Health, and then Uptime Services is a tab there, so uptimehealth.com. But you can reach me at rbaker@uptimehealth.com. Awesome.
Well, thanks, everybody. Jordan, thanks for putting this panel discussion together on technology. I mean, this has really been informative. The timing's great with the recent acquisition and getting Russ on here to talk about Uptime Services. So, thank you, Russ, Taylor, and Jordan. And until next time, I'm Bill Newman, and this is the Group Dentistry Now Show.
The Group Dentistry Now Show has listeners across North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. If you like our show, subscribe today, and please tell your colleagues about us.